Greetings from the wasteland of the internet I come. Yes, it is I the Nomad, speaking to you about today's topics, yesterday's topics, last week's topics, and whatever the hell I freaking feel like, quite frankly, as we go forward. I see Matt Barkley in the chat. Hi, Matt. Hope you're having a good day. Hope everything is going your way, except for the weather. Well, I do hope the weather goes your way. But your view that if it stays above zero, you'll be happy. Yeah, I can understand that, but zero's too cold, dude. Zero is far, far, far away too cold. So everyone wants to see what I'm going to recap today. Okay. and I'm glad it's going your way, Matt. All right. What am I going to start off with today? Well, let's start off with this from the Guardian. Excuse me. I don't have enough coffee in me yet. That's a big part of the problem. I am selling my blood. Millions in the U.S. can't make ends meet with two jobs. Now, first of all, you guys in The Guardian. The Guardian is a left wing British newspaper, right? Why don't you stick with British news? There are plenty of people struggling right now in Great Britain. Okay? Don't get me wrong. I'm not upset that about the story in and of itself because it's a condition, and that's why I'm doing the story first. It's the situation that we're in right now. But what are you coming over here and asking for questions? Trying to make stupid freaking poor as me stories when you got them right out your door. Are you just trying to make the people in Britain feel good because some people in America are suffering? Now let's read this story. Millions of Americans are currently working two or more jobs in order to make ends meet as global inflation and corporations jacking up prices have sent prices of food, gas, housing, insurance, and other necessities soaring this past year. Now stop right there. Mr. Guardian, where's your accountability? Where's your accountability? You guys at the Guardians are responsible for this in a large part by going around screaming, climate change, we gotta stop climate change. Oh, we gotta do something climate change. Oh, let's cheer Biden when he sits up there and stops oil. Gee, you stop oil and the food prices are gonna stay the same? The very thing that necessitates the production of food, the number one thing that is necessary in order for us to produce food, oil. What do you think fuels tractors? Wind power? You guys are responsible for this. For touting that there's a freaking nirvana out there, all right, without anything out there. Oh, but it's a global crisis. It's only a global crisis because you convinced assholes here in America to shut down oil production. And it's going to get worse. You're right, Matt. Cash Lewis, 31, of Denver, Colorado, works two jobs and is currently trying to find a third to cover the recent $200 monthly rent increase to her apartment. She works days as a barista at Starbucks, but claims it's been difficult enough to get enough hours, even with taking extra shifts whenever she can, due to scheduling cuts as part of the crackdown on union organizing by management. So she unionized Starbucks and is now suffering because she's not getting the money. All right. It doesn't say she was a union. She was one of the unionizers. Right? It doesn't. But you're working. All right. Let me explain to people who don't understand unions. When is a union effective, and when can unions be broken? Okay. If you're going to unionize, you'd better be unionizing skilled labor. You'd better be unionizing in people who cannot easily be replaced. Otherwise, what will happen, and what has happened repeatedly with every attempt to unionize unskilled labor, is they just say, okay, you guys are part of the union, goodbye, and they fire you all, and they get people who, anyone off the street that wants to work. This is what breaks unions. It's easy to break a union when you have unskilled labor. When your labor is skilled and you unionize, they can't just go off the street and say, okay, we're going to kick you out to the curb and hire anybody off the street. This has been true forever. People think that the AFL-CIO, which is a truckers union, right? And it's a huge truckers union, that they are unskilled labor. Anybody could drive a truck. Really? Ever try? Ever try to drive one of those big rigs? Ever try to back one of those big rigs up? Hell, most people can't even parallel park in this country, let alone drive a big rig. Are you kidding me? So don't fool yourselves into thinking that you working in Starbucks, that's how somehow skilled labor. It's not. And in fact, the first problem I have with this story starts with Cash Lewis, 31 of Denver. You're 31 and you're working at Starbucks as a barista. What'd you do for the last 10 years of your life since you turned 21? Because I guarantee you weren't working at Starbucks. Guaranteed you weren't just working at Starbucks. But let's continue on. Right? To cover the recent $200 monthly increase in her rent, she works days as a barista in Starbucks, but claims it's been difficult. At night, she works at a convenience store because the hours are reliable and works 6 days a week, often 16 hours a day. Really? 16 hours a day? Really? She's working 16 hours a day on a 6 days a week job at a convenience store. Huh. That and she thinks she has time to get a third job? Huh. Something don't add up here. How many hours is she working at Starbucks? I'm kind of curious here. I'm kind of curious to see what she's actually doing. Her partner suffers from epilepsy and can't work full time because of it. Even with insurance, their medication is expensive, and she spends about half of a 2 week paycheck at Starbucks to cover the insurance premiums. Really? Really? And I believe that. I can't believe it that half of her 2 week paycheck at Starbucks is covering the health premium. Can I go through this as I go through this story? You know the one thing that they don't ever talk about, right? You know the one thing they don't ever talk about how much this woman is pulling in right now. Because I would be very curious how much this woman is actually making currently. Because if you're working 16 hours days, all right, which we'll break it down to about 12. Okay, let's be freaking realistic here, right? We'll say she's working 12 hours a day at the convenience store, right? Which is a healthy 72 hours of work week. Okay, I want people to understand that. Well, not 72. Um, 4.5, so about 60-hour work week. Right, just at the grocery store, 60 hours. Right, and then on top of that, let's say she does 3 shifts, just three. Right, as a barista at Starbucks. Okay, so another 20 hours. Okay, so we'll say that her work week is a 40-hour work week. Don't worry, Chris. If she's pulling in 40 hours worth of work a week, and she's making minimum wage in lefty loon land, Denver, okay? Because that's where she's from. I guarantee her yearly salary is over $50,000 a year. I guarantee it. So you see, this is why they're not talking about how much she makes. This woman that they're saying is down and out is pulling, and we know we can expect this. She's pulling far more than just minimum wage. Okay, she would have to be. Now, there's some interesting little comments they make here. Over the past 5 years, she has struggled with homelessness and was previously fired from her job for sleeping in her car behind her place of employment. All my friends and family work multiple jobs as well, just trying to keep our heads above water. Nothing is affordable, and roadblocks are set up to keep people in the cycle of poverty, uh, benefit the most wealthy members of our society, added Lewis. We aren't living, we're barely surviving, and we have no choice but to keep doing it. I want to see your take home pay. I want to see your take home pay, and I want to know what she's spending it on. I would really like to know this. Because I guarantee you, she is spending beyond her means. You notice how she had a car when she was homeless? That means she can afford car insurance, auto insurance. Now, I'm going to be real blunt with you guys so that people understand something. But if just her regular paycheck at Starbucks easily covers her health insurance, and she says half of a 2-week paycheck goes to the health insurance to cover the premiums, so you can tell that she's able to pay your health insurance. If that's the case, what else are you freaking spending money on? How much are you making at Starbucks? You notice they don't tell you. And this is going to be a theme of today's storyline because I've had it with the press and this bullshit that they do. Laura Richwine of Omaha, Nebraska works 2 jobs, one in fraud prevention and another doing administrative work, and had previously been working 3 jobs to keep up with the hefty medical bills she's been facing ever since being hit by a car in 2014. It's rough. I barely have any energy to keep up with much else, said Richwine. I've got a bachelor's degree, and I've been working for over 10 years, but up until this year, I never had a job that paid more than $15 an hour. Why is that? What's your bachelor's degree in? I'm just curious. Well, I've got a bachelor's degree. Okay. What's your degree in? Okay. I've been paid more than $50 an hour. Many places around me still offer Nebraska's minimum wage, which is $9 an hour. You can hardly even buy food with that amount. Bullshit. All right? And minimum wage was never supposed to be a living wage. Everyone keeps referring to it that way, and what you've done is you've driven people like good old Laura Richwine here into the ground. Why? Because she believed there was a rainbow at the end of the party she did in college. What's your degree in, Laura? Doing other administrative work? Administrative work. What does that tell you she is? A bachelor's degree in math. All right. I'm just curious. No, I feel for her. Yeah, she was hit by a car and she has medical bills, and I understand that. All right. The one of the things that is very harmful in this country are medical bills due to this stuff. But now, what's driving up medical costs? Government overregulation. Oh, okay. I'm going to be real lovely. Government overregulation. This woman's medical bills wouldn't be nearly as high if you wouldn't keep voting for leftists. Now in Omaha, it's not helping a whole lot, but because Nebraska's deep red, even Omaha's blue. Don't get me wrong, Omaha's blue. All right, but it can't dominate the rest of the state. The rest of the state dominates, and it's deep red. But the problem is when you deal with government overregulation, this is all things that she wanted. More Americans have been working 2 or more jobs over the past few decades, according to data from the U.S. Census, with women more likely than men to have multiple jobs and multiple job holders, most prevalent among low-wage workers. Really? Because guys are satisfied with what they're getting? Right? Based on the Bureau of Labor Statistics, more than 400,000 Americans work 2 full-time jobs. In September of 2022, 4.9% of all the more than 164 million U.S. workers held 2 or more job positions, over 7.7 million workers. Wait. Of all, 7.7 million workers. How many of those people are like, oh, I don't know, the board of Twitter, right? How many of those people are like Barack Obama? Barack Obama works more than one job. I guarantee you, he reports income from more than one data stream. You see, these things can be skewed. We don't know how many people are having multiple jobs because they're struggling versus the Miss Cash, who was talking about from Denver, right? Where it's pretty dang obvious to me, and should be pretty dang obvious to everyone, that her living conditions and stuff, and she might be tired and working and everything, but she's doing it because not because she's trying to survive, but because she wants a certain lifestyle that she's not willing to give up, which is fine if that's your choice. But don't then come bitching to me about things are so high, especially you freaks in Denver because you voted for it. If you're gonna bitch about this stuff, if you're gonna bitch about the high cost of living and inflation, which apparently is just a Republican Republican talking point. You just ask people on the View and ask people all over the place. They only heard the term inflation from a Republican talking point. People don't even know what the word inflation is. It's a global problem, folks. It's a global problem. Really, a global problem stemming from what? Stemming from what? You can all point to one thing: oil. The one primary factor was the declaration of war in this country against energy production. and you're bitching about it. Well, the price of oil's gone way up. Well, really? The price of gasoline's gone way. The price of oil, it's a barrel of oil is still about the same cost. Well, how are they doing it? Why are all these other costs? Well, I don't know. Maybe because there's no refineries. Why are there no refineries in the U.S.? Oh, that's right. For the same reason that there's no oil production in the U.S. Right? Overregulation, right? Funding of quote unquote green energy products that don't produce enough energy to keep the energy needs up. Constant fees to sit up there and try and put in a new power plant, create a new power plant. Well, let's start jacking up those governmental fees, right? And let's, by the way, let's call our friends over at the Sierra Club to make sure they'll come out and protest and run their lawyers, all right, on over to start suing about some kind of environmental damage. So you got to do 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 freaking environmental studies. Who do you think pays for those? Hey, Laura, if your degree was in environmental study production, you wouldn't be freaking suffering right now. Let's talk about another story right now. From CNN. Ukraine suffers, and what gets me is this is in CNN's politics area. They consider this political. Ukraine suffered a comms outage when 1,300 SpaceX satellite units went offline over funding issues. The Ukraine's fears that its troops may lose access to Elon Musk's crucial Starlink internet service deepened in the past week after 1,300 of the military satellite units went offline, according to two sources familiar with the outage. The small, easy-to-use satellite dishes made by Musk's private rocket company SpaceX have been universally hailed as a game-changing source of communication for the Ukraine's military, allowing it to fight and stay online, even as cellular phone and internet networks have been destroyed in its war with Russia. But concerns have risen recently over the dependability of SpaceX after discussions about funding were revealed and outages were reported near the front lines. CNN first reported that SpaceX sent a letter in September to the Pentagon claiming that it's spending most of its $100 million funding Starlink in the Ukraine and that it could no longer continue to do so. Okay? The letter requested that the Defense Department take over more of the funding for the Ukrainian military, which it calculated would run to tens of millions of dollars a month. Now, we're giving all sorts of billions of dollars in aid to the Ukrainians to help fund this war. The least you could do is sit up there and fund their internet, right? All right? Isn't that what you're trying to say here? The hell with it, Musk tweeted. We'll just keep funding the Ukraine government for free. Negotiations with SpaceX and the Defense Department continue despite Musk's claim that SpaceX withdrew its request, according to his senior defense officials. Personally, if I was Musk, I can tell you what's happening right now. They don't want to give Musk money. They are absolutely terrified, all right, of Musk because he bought Twitter. And what he's doing with Twitter is not what they want. So they don't want to give him money. That's what this comes down to. They don't want to give him all the money that they promised to give him, and I guarantee you they promised him, right? They promised that they would do all this stuff. Now, there's other things that could be going on, and I'm not going to discuss them, but I can tell you right now, they promised to give Elon Musk all sorts of money, all right, to sit up there and fund the Ukrainians with these Starlink satellites, okay? And Musk took the money, all right, and it's like, well, took the deal, and now the Ukrainians are not paying the money because it's all part of this money laundering operation where it goes through the Ukraine to launder money. Well, the Ukrainians have realized we can spend this money on weapons because we kind of need those too. Yeah, internet is great, but if the guys can't shoot back, we kind of need that as well. All right, so and by the way, this has nothing to do with oil. Really. The fact that the Donetsk region is a oil-producing region is absolutely immaterial to what's going on in the Ukraine. Just tell yourself that. Okay? Just keep telling yourself that. But they don't want to give him money because of Twitter. And Elon Musk, being the dingleberry that he is, right? Because I have always been a bit circumspect about Elon Musk because he's a naturally go along, get along kind of guy. He wants everyone to love him. He's like Trump. He has one of the worst qualities from Donald Trump, which is he wants to be loved by people. All right? He wanted to be loved by people so much that just a few days ago, Musk agrees to restore Twitter's content moderation tools this week. He never took them down. Right? Twitter Inc.'s new owner, Elon Musk, promised civil rights leaders he will restore content moderation tools that had been blocked for some of the staff by the end of the week, according to the three leaders who met with Musk on Monday. Musk made the commitment during a Zoom meeting with the heads of some of the country's leading racial justice organizations, like the NAACP, liberal colored people, all right, Color of Change, and the Anti-Defamation League. Three hardcore leftist organizations that will throw their own people under the bus if it means furthering the leftist agenda. They don't give a shit about discrimination or hate speech or anything else. All right, all they want to do is, as long as it pushes the progressive agenda, they are all for it. And these three same groups, all right, what did they do? Okay, well, they went back, backstabbed good old Elon, and went after their money resources, went after the advertisers for Twitter, right? And so what's the result? From the New York Times, confusion and frustration reigns as Elon Musk cuts half of Twitter's staff. Layoffs hit across many divisions, including the engineering and machine learning units, the teams that manage content moderation, and sales and advertising departments. When the axe came down at Twitter on Friday, it did not fall smoothly. Yeah, it did. It went shatoon. I don't know what you're talking about. That's a pretty smooth freaking cut. Twitter offices in Ireland, Britain, employees stayed up late waiting for the San Francisco headquarters to inform them of their job status. Some of them learned that they were unemployed in the middle of their night. The cuts were so haphazard that at least one late night meeting about Twitter Blue subscription product, at least one worker was locked out of the company's systems during the call, according to three people with knowledge of the meeting and internal messages viewed by the New York Times. Many employees vented on Twitter. Chris Uni, a member of the partnership team based in London, discovered that he had been laid off when he checked his corporate laptop and email account after midnight and could not access internal systems. So grateful this is happening at 3 a.m., Mr. Uni posted sarcastically on Twitter. Really appreciate the thoughtfulness on the timing front, guys. All right. So Elon Musk got angry because he said he wanted to try and make a deal with these leftist loons. They continued their campaign to destroy Twitter. All right? And they did. They didn't call it off. They didn't sit up there and say, hey, there's nothing wrong with the content moderation. No, they went to the advertisers. They still sicked their little minions on the advertisers to scare them away. Now, most of the advertisers that are jumping ship, we're going to be jumping ship anyway. GM and Volkswagen are competitors to Tesla, Elon. Those are two of the biggest accounts. Now, General Mills is a different story. General Mills Food. But if you really wanted to hit back, Elon, at General Mills Foods, tell people that General Mills, who produces some very popular cereals in America, like Lucky Charms, all right, are causing this. Tell them that a boycott should be happening on General Mills because they're anti-free speech. And see how fast advertising from General Mills comes back. Now, I feel for some of the people that are getting fired. Okay? I do. But they had to understand what was coming. The company was far more than just bloated. Okay? And they know it. You have operations in London. You have operations in Ireland. Why? Why? Why do you have an office in London? Why do you have an office in Ireland? Why? Well, it's a worldwide operation. No, man, don't you understand? It's a worldwide operation, and, they had to keep things up. No, they don't. No, they don't. That's nonsense. You could have done everything from the United States. Now, are these guys getting fired in the best manner possible? No. But I will say something right now. If you're going to fire 3,700, if you're going to fire half the employees, 3,700 people total, and you're firing entire divisions, you got to understand this. They are firing entire divisions of people. Okay? You can't do that by calling them into the office personally and firing them. Well, why not? Because you don't have the people to do it. When you fire 3,700 people, that's a lot of people. If they've all got to come into an office, if they've all got to talk to a person, okay? Now, one person can fire personally how many people a day? And what I mean by that is by meeting with them, discussing things with them, because it's going to take about 35 minutes to 45 minutes. All right, it's going to be a discussion along those lines. Sure, he could call people up into a freaking auditorium and say you're all fired. Okay, you could try and do it that way, and it's a shitty way to get fired. I'm not going to deny this. Getting an email saying you're fired is not something you want to see. But for a company like this, it was the only way it was going to take place. It's the only way that it could take place. Cuts hit across many divisions, including the engineering, machine learning teams, the trust and safety teams that manage content moderation, and the sales and advertising departments. The fact that they went after sales and advertising is significant. It means they're not looking to increase sales and advertising. It means what they've been doing for sales and advertising, Musk has said, is useless. There are a lot of people. You gotta fire these people, right? They had to know it was coming. But the media, the media is the ones driving this whole damn train. They're the ones at fault for a lot of what's happening right now because they've been lying about what Twitter was doing. They've been lying to everybody that Twitter was, oh no, Twitter's about free speech. So these people on Twitter, they're just getting rid of some really outliers out there. They're just getting rid of people who are bringing up conspiracy theories. Yeah. It's conspiracy theories. It's wild, radical conspiracy theories. And when we say something's a conspiracy theory, it's a conspiracy theory. Just listen to us. Because we would never engage in any real conspiracy theories. We would never engage in any of those things. No. What we tell you is the absolute truth. And if I tell you that Hunter Biden's laptop is a Russian disinformation campaign, you'd better believe it. And every single one of these people did that. And why? Because it served the leftist narrative. Did you see the ADL say, "Hey, wait a minute here, there's a problem"? Did you see the NAACP go, "Whoa"? You know, there's some super stories out there. Where do you see the ADL getting on its hind legs bitching about this? Well, where? Right here. All right. Nike says as it suspends its relationship with Kyrie Irving. Nike is suspending its relationship with Kyrie Irving of the Brooklyn Nets and will no longer release the latest version of his sneakers. At Nike, we believe there's no place for hate speech unless it's against the Uyghurs who we abuse, right? Right, Nike? Right? Unless it's against the white man, right? Unless it's against the white police officers. Black Lives Matter, right? Right, Nike? What about the Uyghur lies? The hell with them. They need to make sneakers. Welcome, Jensen. You're welcome to come on if you want. Black Lives Matter, right? Except for the Uyghurs. We at Nike believe there's no place for hate speech. We condemn any form of anti-Semitism, right? To that hey, Nike, are your shoes sold on Amazon? Let's do ourselves a favor here, shall we? Let's go to Amazon.com, and let's type in Nike shoes. Hello, how are you doing? Oh, looky here! Welcome, Jensen. Nike shoes being sold on Amazon.com. Huh. So Nike has no problem advertising in the very place that of the quote unquote hate speech that they're referencing from poor old Kyrie Irving, right? What are you referring to? Oh, here. Sorry. Only Jensen would come in and says, "Let's see, what's next to the pink? Oh, camel. That's because camel goes next to pink." Yeah, well, the digital stuff. There's a reason for that, but I'm not going to go into that here. Okay, there's a reason we ditched the other camouflage stuff. All right, and it was a legitimate reason. Okay, it does look rubbish, but it works. Okay, you're a little low. You are a little low, but it's coming from Discord. Oh, really? They can't hear you at all? All right. Hold on a second, because I think that's I'm a mistake here. Talk. Try now.
Okay. Can you lot hear me? Please type Y if you can hear me. Matt says he can't hear me, but that has just come up.
Okay. Can you hear
If not, then
Jensen now?
anybody. Ah, there I am. Yay! I'm a real
Okay.
boy. Yeah.
All right. That was my fault. I do
No worries.
apologize.
And no, Madge, just before you carry on with your story, at some point have a look at the video I sent you in Discord. It's not for the show, but trust me, you will chuckle.
that I can believe. All right, that I can truly believe that I'll be chuckling over that. But
Yeah.
what Jensen was saying is Jensen wanted me to go back to the previous thing over here, just so that you guys can I'll fill you guys in here as we bounce over here. He saw this.
It looks awful.
All right,
It
I'm just.
does.
But that isn't even Nike. That's Adidas. That's a type
Yeah,
of
I know.
from Nike.
Which is actually quite funny. Adidas and Nike being advertised in the same area. Yeah, makes you wonder.
Well, there's a couple things that are making me wonder now. So just
Hmm.
put up with me for a little bit as I flash back and forth across things. Oh
Oh,
yeah,
please do.
that's awesome.
Hmm.
All right. The the thing is, folks, right, is the movie that Kyrie Irving tweeted about, and all he did is tweet the movie name. He didn't say anything, right? But because they consider that movie anti-Semitic, they are now going, we believe there's no place for hate speech or any form of anti-Semitism. Well, then Nike, why are you advertising on Amazon.com? Right?
Hmm.
Seriously. What did Kyrie Irving say that was anti-Semitic? He didn't say anything. Now, I'm not a huge Kyrie Irving fan. I do like some of the stances because he was one of the people who stood up to this everybody get the vax shot crap. Okay?
Hmm.
And he stood his ground on that. And he paid a price for it. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm not going to deny that. All right. So to say that I don't, I despise this guy. Look, he is the what he tweeted was a from what was it from trying to remember the name of the stupid show. All right, I can't
Very
even
not funny.
name it. I don't really care about the name of
Hmm.
it, right? But basically, it was saying that the true Israelites are black people. That they're
Oh,
true
that.
Hebrews,
Hmm. Yeah.
right? And that if you're not black, you're not really a Hebrew.
But I thought if you wasn't black, you wasn't a Democrat, according to your president. I remember seeing that.
That's only if you
Sorry,
vote
I
for
had to.
Trump.
That's fair. That's fair.
All right. Uh, no, it's I'm just pointing. I'm just trying to point this out. Right? The hypocrisy
Hmm.
of these people. Right. So why are you advertising? Why did nobody sit up there and come back and say, well, why are you advertising on Amazon.com then? Why did not one of these things, and nowhere in this where they're reporting from Nike. At no point does anybody in this article, who wrote this article? All right, it just came from the AP, so I don't
All
know
right.
who the writer was. Right? There's nowhere in here where that writer sits up there and questions Nike for advertising on Amazon.com.
Hmm.
Where, and why am I bringing that up? Because it was Amazon Prime that Kyrie referenced where he found the movie that they're all freaking jumping down his throat about.
Fair.
Now, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of Kyrie Irving, right? Why? Because the movie, if you divorce of yourself of the anti-Semitic tropes in it, and the anti-Semitic tropes are not only there, they're serious. Okay,
Yeah.
they are truly anti-Semitic. Okay, I'm not gonna you can't get around that. Okay, but the whole thing is black supremacy. The whole tone of that entire thing is black supremacy. Oh, I saw Black Adam. It was pretty decent. That's good because I plan to
Oh,
watch that movie. I actually do.
yeah.
It's actually one of the things I was going to watch, and I was going to actually do a little snippet on because I want to see what it's like. And
Cool.
and I'm not a huge DC fan. To be honest, I had never even heard of the character because I wasn't a DC fan. So I don't know all
Fair.
the DC characters. I mean, everyone knows the originals, right? But
Yeah.
aside from the originals, I don't know very many of the DC characters, right?
Hmm.
Even the new ones, I'm not familiar with. So, but from what I've read about the storyline of Black Adam, it's intriguing, right? This could be a cool character, right? I was
Nice.
like kind of looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I plan to actually go watch that movie.
Mhm.
And that's not to say that I'm a fan of all this Hollywood crap to begin with. But the
No.
media put out that Kyrie Irving was anti-Semitic, and the way they started questioning him was they were basically using that to accuse him of being an anti-Semite when they first started questioning it, and he got defensive,
Mm.
as anyone would.
Yeah.
You're trying to label me as an anti-Semite. Well, no, I'm just trying to question you about this. No, you're not questioning me about this. You didn't ask me about this storyline. You could have asked him very directly in the storyline in the movie. All right, it says that less than, that 6 million Jews were not killed during the Holocaust. Do you believe that? Did you ask him that? No, nobody asked him that.
Fair.
Nobody asked him any serious questions concerning this. They were asked basically trying to use that as a why were you promoting this? He says, I just tweeted out this and I saw it. That's all he was doing. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
Right. Now
Yeah.
the thing is let's be honest. Like I said, it's a black supremacist documentary. It's all about black supremacy, how they've been
Mhm.
held down.
Just to check with you, mate, is it okay to talk about another film straight after this? Carry on
Sure,
with what you're saying, but because we're talking films at the moment, and I have an opinion on a film, I'd like to discuss it with you.
sure.
Cool.
All right. Well, I got one more thing I want to talk about, right?
Oh yeah, please
That's a
do,
part of
please
this,
do.
and that is what has it led to? It's led to this: Jews kill blacks and Jews enslave Black lives found graffitied in Georgia.
Hmm.
Anti-Semitic graffiti was found in Atlanta, spray painted on public property. Jews kill blacks and Jews enslave Black lives was spray painted publicly in Atlanta, Georgia on Tuesday. Stop anti-Semitism posted on Twitter 2 pictures of the graffiti. This is what you're fueling, Kyrie Irving, they wrote. This is what Jews have to endure, all right, when notable figures like yourself use their platform to spread falsities and hatred of others. This is on you, Kyrie Irving. Oh, really? This is Kyrie Irving's fault. No, this isn't Kyrie Irving's fault. This is the media's fault and your bullshit for sitting up there doing it. And whoever tweeted that out, I hope they catch the person who graffitied this because I would put money that somehow the people who took the pictures of this and tweeted it are somehow related to it being put there. Just put it out there.
Yeah.
All right? Just put it out there. They act like that book, they act like that story was all about, anti-Judaism, and it's anti-Judaism. That's very true. The ADL is not wrong about that aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
But are they going after Amazon? Are you going after the advertisers on Amazon Prime?
Of course not.
Is anybody going after Nike? All right, for advertising on Amazon Prime where this movie is shown? Did the media even ask Kyrie Irving? Like I said, Kyrie Irving, there's a lot of bad things you can say about him, because the guy's a loon. Okay?
Does that
The
shock
guy.
you?
Okay, first of all, the first thing is that the first thing that people started to realize that Kyrie Irving was a bit of a loon was when he went into the flat Earth thing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right? And then he got so much abuse from that, he backed away from it. Right? Kyrie Irving is and they come back, oh, you went to Duke, as if Duke is some bastion of intellectualism. As if Duke University is a bastion of intellectual thought. It's not. Never has been. Okay, just put it out there, folks. You people from Duke, you can believe what you want. All right, roll over for CRT.
Mm.
Oh, roll
No,
over.
roll for crit. Yeah, that's cool.
Look, folks, it's not nothing to do that. All right, before we get into the British side of the story, let's hear about what movie you want to talk about there.
I would like to talk about a film called The Woman King. Oh, sorry, yes, The Woman King. Now, this is about the African kingdom of Dahomey. Now, the reason this is moderately well known is because the kingdom of Dahomey was actually the place where the slavers would go to actually buy their slaves in Africa. They were taken by the people in the tribe of the Dahomey tribe. And yeah, they're trying to actually say that this film, while talking about the royalty and that lot as the primary characters in the film, they're trying to say that they're anti-slavery, even though the king had actually admitted and actually turned around to the British when we went down and said, "Yeah, stop this, pal. No, this is the way our kingdom has worked for thousands of years. We're going to continue." And yet somehow this is an anti-slavery film. So yeah, I'd love to see how they're going to explain that. By the way, I have actually seen some clips on it, and they are literally doing mental backflips to try and fit this in as an anti-racist film.
Well, they don't want to be criticized for putting a film like this together, right? Which is
Yeah,
total fantasy, not based in any kind of reality. See,
that.
reality. If you're going to put a film together for reality, right?
Hmm.
Let me find the name of that film.
Okay, The
Hold on a
Woman
second.
King.
Continue on with your
Yeah,
your description
yeah, no
of the
worries. Yeah,
homie, and
no worries,
also,
mate.
if you don't mind, go into what the British were doing when they were trying to stop it.
Oh yeah, obviously I am talking about when the British was having its little anti-slavery thing where we decided that we was going to stop slavery. And by doing that, we were literally just sinking the goddamn ships as they were going across the Atlantic, which is kind of the way the Royal Navy used to be. And I've got whole issues about that. We can talk at a later point. But the leftists are attempting to claim that this film is, while it is promoting the court of the Dahomey king as the ultimate in, oh, this is like the new version of Wakanda. They're the people that literally were selling us slaves. We didn't. There was this whole thing about, oh, but what about those that would go in and raid for slaves? No, we didn't. We literally turned up at that kingdom, and they had thousands of them because slavery was something that they had done for basically hundreds, if not thousands, of years. It was considered as normal as popping down the shops. You go down, tea, milk, and yeah, I'll have 5 of those slaves over there. It was that common. And yet they're actually supposed to be the good guys? I don't think so. Plus, this whole thing, how it's called the Woman King, that part's highly entertaining because, yes, it did happen. And she was king for about, uh, I think it was a month before uh, there was a male child that took over the kingdom. So even calling it the Woman King is kind of a waste of time.
Was
They
she
may
what,
as
the
well just call it
regent?
the regent. Yes,
Yeah, okay.
that was exactly what she was. Even though she was officially the, which still kills me calling a female king, but she was the king. Stupid, in my opinion. But,
Well,
you know,
it comes down to that. Okay, but that comes down to language. Okay,
yes.
that comes down to the differences within languages and how we translate things the best way we can. Because when we translate from one language to another language, things get lost. Right? No matter what language it is, when you translate from one language to another, some context can get lost, will get lost at some point. Okay, and that's
Yes.
so you end up with these kinds of things. So what's the best way to fit this? Calling him king is probably the best way to fit it, right?
Yeah.
So
Even,
it is what it is. But there was a movie by Jerry Lee Lewis, or Jerry
okay.
Lewis, right? You know,
Yeah.
the comedian actor,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That was never released.
Okay.
They banned it. In fact, he
Oh.
banned it himself.
Oh.
Okay. So what's the name of this film? The name of the film
Go on.
is The Day the Clown Cried.
Okay.
Now, this is a dark, dark film. Okay.
Okay.
And what it is a clown that was imprisoned in a concentration camp,
Ah.
who then would would perform for the people about to be gassed. So at least
Oh.
they had some joy in life before they were killed.
That's dark. I like that. Okay.
Okay. Now, this was some of the things that happened in these concentration camps, folks. As
Oh, yeah.
horrific as that whole thing is, you had some of the greatest musicians in the world, all right, in these concentration camps, and they would play beautiful music to the people being marched off to the gas chambers, and they knew what was happening.
Yeah.
That's
Why
how
wouldn't they?
bad things were.
Oh, yeah.
And at the same time, think of what that means to these people. All right?
Oh, yeah.
They're playing knowing what's happening, knowing that the only reason they're not marching in that line is because they can play.
Yep. Horrific, isn't it?
Do you realize that the psychological,
Mm.
you know, harm that's causing? That 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 yeah, the fact that and it's, what other choice do you have? You get in line,
Yep.
and I guarantee you there were plenty that did. Were they heroes? They were dead.
Yeah.
There was no heroes.
Hate to say it, but the word hero and victim could easily transpose here without the slightest of slowing down. Let's be
Right?
honest.
Did these people at least try to uplift the people that they knew were headed was going to happen to them? Yeah, it was the only choice they had. It was the only gift that they could have, all right, and still maintain their own lives and be alive. What else? What else was there? They weren't going to change anything.
Hmm.
If they got in line, right, would it have changed anything? No. Would
No.
them not
Like,
playing have changed anything? Even
apart from the
by
fact
one
they
person? No.
Apart from the fact that it literally just means there wouldn't have been a next recital. That's literally it. It would have done nothing. The Germans didn't care. The victim, and I'm not saying Jews specific because there were more than just the Jews, but the victims of this, whether they cared or not, it didn't matter. They were that unimportant to the situation and couldn't do shit all about it anyway. So no, it would have made no difference whatsoever.
It would have made literally no difference. In fact, the fact that they survived, all right, and could tell their stories, it was far more important, all right, in the end. I hate to say it, but it's true.
Hmm.
At least they could sit up there and be around to bear witness to what happened. Now, this is a dark turn to this, but it all goes back to, well, the media is all upset about these kind of things. Okay, rightly so. I mean, that's understandable. Okay, but then why aren't you going after Nike? Why aren't you going after everybody who sits up there and advertises on Amazon Prime? On Amazon, that sells things on Amazon. Why are they not going after the leader of Amazon? They're getting ready to let this asshole freaking own an NFL football team. Jeff Bezos is making a play to become the owner of the Washington, quote unquote, Commanders, what used to be the Washington Redskins.
Mm.
Where is this? Where is this ADL? It's not that I don't think that the movie was bad. It's not that I don't think that the movie's tropes and everything were bad. But unless this guy did something wrong, meaning Kyrie Irving, get off his back.
Yep.
LeBron James has more recently and more vociferously spewed racial hatred in this country every chances he's got, and no one's banning him.
Hmm.
Or am I just missing something here?
No, and in all fairness, if they'd just left him alone, no offense to the way things done with the basketball, but let's be honest, as a basketball player, he'd have probably screwed up somewhere and ended up in the courts for something else. Cough, cough. Pick a young girl of your choice.
No, he's not. Believe it or not, he's not like that. That is not his problem. He's one of the few
Oh, okay. I
that's
take that back.
not in that issue. There are plenty of
Okay.
other innocents. I could have brought up all sorts of NBA issues of players
That's why I was
in
going
that
for it.
regard. That is not. But that's honestly, Kyrie Irving is not that kind of cat. You know, he's not that kind of guy.
Cool.
He's got issues. Don't get me wrong, right? But his mistreatment of women is not one of them.
Okay.
Okay. And I just noticed all of a sudden I'm having issues with the network.
Mm. Yeah. Literally, as you said that, it just started buffering for me.
I wonder why.
It's me. Okay. This is the proof that they
It's
hate me.
not you. I think it might have been the content.
Mm.
Let's be honest. It could have very well been the content.
Yeah. The worst thing is you might actually be accurate with that.
I know I'm accurate with
Disturbingly.
it.
Yeah.
Because I can hear you fine back and forth through all the different things that's happening. It's only going to YouTube that's the issue.
Yeah.
But
Mm.
anyway, let's get on to another story.
Okay.
Right? Remember, I referenced that before we start talking about British stories, right? I did reference that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
gave you a warning,
Oh, you
right?
did.
Right. But it's not a
I
bad story.
believe the words are bring it.
Red alert! Princess of Wales stuns in Alexander McQueen coat. All right, as she braves the rain at the Rugby League World Quarterfinal. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um. I assume that this is Kate Middleton.
Yes.
All right.
Even though technically she should actually be called Kate Windsor because she, after all, married the Windsors. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
She
no,
has
she wearing
taken
a red
over this
dress.
role from the the ginger twat, as you put it.
No, I actually don't think that the ginger twat would have actually been given this sort of position. But I realise that for most people, understanding that she's wearing a red coat. Ooh, who cares? It's a red coat. Grant, I mean, literally, the closest you can say that could be important is this could be a subtle clue to the Americans. I mean, I believe you guys have a problem with red coats. I seem to remember, sort of
Well,
around
different color red
1776-ish.
coat, different color red
Yeah,
coat.
I know, I know, I know.
Right, but it says here today is the first time Kate is watching a match in her capacity as the official royal patron of Rugby Football League after taking over the position from the Ginger Twat in February.
Yep. Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Oh.
And then they're talking about her earrings and a gog and everything else. Why am I doing this story? Believe it or not, it had absolutely nothing to do with the Ginger Twat or anything else. It has to do with this right here, right above her left breast.
I'm assuming you're going for the poppy. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Okay. With a woolen red poppy to show her support for the armed forces ahead of Remembrance Sunday. All right, and some pearl
Yep.
earrings. That is an important thing, an important tradition. All right, for the British people. All right, because it signifies those lost during World War One. And as
Wrong. No, no, you are wrong, sir.
I
Oh, I'm going to
okay, so
enjoy
I'm
this.
going to be corrected. Go ahead.
Oh, yes, you are. It's not just it. I mean, it came about because of World War One. It's actually meant to register any that lost their lives in any military conflict, including any country of the world. We have a thing over here called the cenotaph. Underneath it is buried the unknown soldier. He's called this because somebody went over to, I believe it was Fields of Flanders, found a random body of, it could be anybody, and no, we don't know, took the body back and buried him in England. It could be a German, it could be literally just a peasant, for all we know, but they were given that position as the unknown soldier, and that is his rank.
Hmm,
Okay? Yeah. So
okay.
it's not sorry, it's just not World War One. It's all wars up to and including Vietnam and Iraq. Sorry, Afghanistan and Iraq, and for that matter, and Vietnam, because it's for you guys as well.
All right, I guess she's rooting for some. What the hell?
Hmm.
Dude, you're a rugby player and you're putting a tattoo of a butterfly on your leg.
Yeah.
Um, okay. I don't know who this guy. I know nothing about rugby, but
Move like a butterfly, sting like a bee. The new version, maybe.
maybe I don't know anything about this.
Hmm.
Who is this guy that's constantly walking by, or is this like a security guard or something?
Yes, he is literally a nameless, faceless bullet shield. And I do realise exactly how harsh that is, but that is exactly what his job is.
Okay. I wanted to point this out because the red poppy because of how much meaning it has for the British, right?
Oh yes.
And the fact that World War One was also very horrific, right? We also talk about World War Two because, well, quite frankly, it's more recent. But in many ways, World War One was far worse. All right,
Oh yeah.
mainly because medicine and technology gave rise to the first industrialized type of slaughter that could happen. Okay,
Yep.
most people don't realize that this is a direct result of advances during the U.S. Civil War.
Hmm.
Okay, the United States revolutionized warfare during the Civil War, and it led to World War One. Well, let me rephrase that. It didn't lead to World War One. All right, it those advances, okay, led to the kind of slaughter that happened during World War One. All right,
Yeah.
as these weapons and this technology. People forget this. The British sent. not advisors. What do you call them?
What for World War?
Attachés. You,
Attaché would be the correct term for
you,
us. Yes.
the British sent attachés to the United States. They sent attachés to the Confederacy. Most people don't realize this. They all know about the attaché because of the movie Gettysburg.
Hmm.
On the Confederate side, but the British also had attachés attached to some Union's areas as well to view warfare and
Yeah.
the tactics and stuff that were going on. This was a common practice. What most people don't know is the British attachés were hardly the only attachés that were on those battlefields. We had German attachés.
Oh
We
yeah.
had French attachés. We had Japanese attachés. Just let people know. Okay, at this time, and they were viewing the this, and so that they could go back to their countries and going, this is what I saw, how I saw things happening.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the one thing that these idiots came back from, but didn't learn from,
Hmm.
was communications.
Hmm.
All right. What's the difference between World War II and World War I in the stupid trench warfare? Communications. It's not the weapons. It's not the tank.
No.
Okay. It's communication. Okay. The ability to communicate with your troops effectively from front line to the back so that they can do this. They did not learn. One of the things that happened during the Civil War, most people know about, is World War One created this and how do I say this? Perfected staff. How staffs have to work.
Yep.
Okay, how staffs do things like gather the intelligence, so they're out there doing all their dirty work and then taking that work and collating it. I know that's a big word for many people, but actually doing the real world called collating and turning it into a product that the generals can see in as quickly as possible so that they can respond effectively.
Hmm.
Okay, that's what the staff does. Staff work in modern warfare is absolutely critical to understanding what's going on. To being able,
Uh,
and it's not as easy as people think it is, that you can just easily take these reports and, oh, look, we got a report here. We know what's going on. No, it don't work that way. Because reports from the front lines are often, holy shit, we're getting up. That's normally what the reports are from the front line.
yeah.
Right? Oh my God, we're kicking the shit out of them. Oh. These are reports you get from the front line.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Right? We're trying to advance. We're under heavy fire. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you see the size of that? These are reports you get from the front lines.
Oh, what's that dark thing in the sky? And you leave that there.
Right? The guys on the front lines are, they're trying to find things, and of course, as you start to get further and further back, all this stuff has to get filtered back and forth, right? And they start to,
Yeah.
to go into these. All right. So a good staff work, all right, is critical to modern warfare. Okay.
Hmm.
I don't know about you, but I can't wait for World War III. Totally worth being invented so people can launder money through a corrupt Eastern European country.
Yep. That's the worst part. He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. But since you want to talk about that, let's go on to the next story here. Iran has tested a satellite launcher successfully amid rising hostility with the United States. So, what does this mean,
Yeah.
Vincent? Do you want to tell people what this means? This is from
Well,
France 24. What this means
th-
is they have intercontinental ballistic missile capability.
yes.
Okay?
People don't think of the vessel as anything apart from a satellite. No, if you can launch something into space, you can launch it to basically anywhere on the frigging planet,
Yeah,
and there ain't
you
a
can
great
launch it
deal
into
you can do
space to
about it.
come down on Earth. Okay.
Yeah.
Now there is technology necessary to re-enter the Earth's atmosphere, successfully. All right, but it
Hmm.
does mean you can sit up there and when you're talking about a nuke, all right, the old thing that close isn't close enough unless it's nukes or hand grenades.
Yep.
Right? That's what you're dealing with. Iran announced Saturday of the successful test flight of a rocket capable of propelling satellites into space 3 months after launching a satellite with the help of Russia. This comes amid
Gosh.
rising tensions with Western countries as Tehran is alleged to have provided Moscow. Iran has admitted this, by the way. All right,
Hmm.
with military equipment to help its Ukraine war effort. The United States has repeatedly voiced concerns that such launches could boost Iran's ballistic missile technology. No shit! Right? Potential leading to the potential delivery of nuclear warheads. No kidding! Really? What have I been telling you people about for a long time?
Hmm. Oh yeah.
All right, we're sitting there talking about Iran. Iran's in there building nuclear weapons. Iran's busy building a freaking intercontinental ballistic missile system, and Biden, I want to make a deal with these
Yeah.
people. The only deal we should be making with them is, okay, at what point do you want to cease to exist?
Yeah.
That's the
I'm
deal
okay
we
with
should be
that.
making with them. We should be letting them know right now. All right. Oh, you successfully launched this. You know what you didn't see? What happened to all those protests? Last week they declared the protest over. No more protests.
Oh yeah. And we all know why, even though they won't say it out loud. Mm.
I think it's because they believe the threat. I
Yeah.
think most of the
Well,
protesters are like, "Oh, they're serious now. Let's not do this."
Well, let's be honest, okay, Nomad. What would have happened is that the guards would have come out, and instead of using the rubber bullets to clear the crowds, they'd have basically opened fire into the sky, then pointed their guns at the crowd, and watched as the crowd disappeared very quickly. Hey, TC.
ATC, you're a little bit late, but if you care to come in, feel free.
But that is honestly what I think happened. But we will never hear about this because let's be honest. If you want to talk about countries that are in complete control of the media in their country, it's Iran, it's China, and it's Russia. Okay, the information we get out of there is that which they let get out. So let's be honest.
I see that JLM is on in there. I see that Jacobs
Yep.
has arrived as well. Welcome, guys.
Hmm.
I'm trying to stay on top of the chat. It's kind of hard for me actually
No worries, mate. I'm on.
to
I'm doing
rant
the hellos, people.
successfully and which is one of the
But
reasons why
yes.
having Jensen here to moderate my rants is it isn't that Jensen's calming me down at all. It's that he reminds me, hey, you kind of missing this, and it interferes a little bit with the rants.
Yeah. You can all say thank you later, guys. I'm actually doing it for you lot.
you want you let's do something that might just might get Jensen to rant for a bit. You ready? You ready, Jensen?
Oh, oh, this will be good. Go on.
All right. Let me. By the way, I have been remiss here.
Mm.
Not putting you up here in the.
Oh, don't worry about it, man. It's cool. I'm not
Ready?
like a lot of people that want that sort of thing. It's just it is what it is.
No, I like doing it though. That's the
Okay, fair point. Plus, it allows you to rotate it and annoy the
well.
living
I
crap
could do
out of the
this.
cyborg.
This is here's an apology for you,
Mm.
Jensen. There.
Ah,
This is a
ah.
Jensen apology moment or two.
You know what? As you put up the most important thing in the universe, cat girls, I completely forgive you. It's cat girls. It allows you to get away with pretty
Yeah,
much murder.
and now for just gratuitous things, and then off we go. All right. Now back to Jensen. It's time for Jensen to rant a little bit.
Oh yes, I'm waiting for this. This is be fun.
Impasse with Italy over NGO migrant ship intensifies. Children
Hmm.
rescued in the Mediterranean must be allowed to disembark in a safe port, Charity said Saturday as a standoff with Italy over migrant arrivals has intensified. There are 4 humanitarian ships carrying rescued migrants currently requesting permission to dock safely in Italy as conditions at sea worsen in bad weather. We have lots of babies on board, as well as women and children. We urgently need to be assigned a port, said Hermione Poshman.
Hmm.
I'm not making that up. That does say Poshman, right?
Oh
From
no,
the
it
German
does. But
charity Missions Lifeline, which runs Rise Above Rescue Vehicle, told AFP. Go ahead, Jensen.
yeah.
Tell us what you
Well,
think
first of
about
all,
this.
oh, I will come back to that in a sec. Just one thing from Matt. He's pointed out I have a plan that when all the migrants come to our country, we move into theirs. No offense, mate. I mean, seriously, nothing disrespectful here, but you guys have been invaded by the bloody that lot coming up via Mexico, and Britain has been invaded by basically the rest of the planet. So we understand how you feel. It's all well and good us going over to their countries, but all that will happen is they'll come back over and take over their countries again. It's just that lefties sit there. Oh, you can't say anything to these people. No, I have a wonderful plan of dealing with the migrant ships going over the English Channel, but I don't think I'll ever get away with it, although I truly wish I would. And to let you know what that is, that's to send the Royal Navy out to open fire on their ships and leave them floating in the water. People will learn to stop coming over once you sink their
Well, they won't be
ships.
floating in the water if you open fire, by the way.
No, no, I mean the bodies will be floating.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm going for really unsubtle with this one. By the way, I truly, devoutly believe that that is a good plan. By the way, because they're sitting there going, "We're going to give France lots of money to keep them," is obviously not working. Okay, that's not open for discussion. It isn't working
Okay. First of all, why
yeah,
did you think that was going to work? Well, why did
because
people think that people want to live in France?
oh, I agree with that. No, no, it's to say it's not just the people coming over from France, because after all, they will actually head over to us anywhere along the north coast of Europe. So
You
I
mean
say
sharks
just
with
sink the.
lasers on their heads?
Oh, I would if I could. I would if I could, dude. That would deal with the problem. Hey, I still think we bring back sea mines and fill the English Channel. Seriously. What?
how many people would you kill? All right, that are just trying to swim the channel for the sake of it with those mines.
Let me think about this for a moment. I'll just check my back pocket. No, no, I can't find any fucks to give. I'm sorry. If you're if you are in the channel and you come across from Europe, we will sink you unless you have an IFF, identification friend or foe for those that don't. If they haven't got that, then they deserve basically 30 mil cannon, and that will deal with basically most of their ships. And if the French Navy wish to actually open their mouths, we're just going to look at them and go, "Oh, please, shut up,
Well,
you French chit."
you can say that about the French, but they have a working aircraft carrier. Just putting it
Ooh,
out.
ooh. They have a single working aircraft carrier, also known as a very large target for a missile.
Just, but it does need to be pointed out,
Oh, yeah, no, I agree.
and you know why I'm saying that to you.
Oh, yeah. No, 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 no. I completely understand, completely agree. But I will remind you that we still have the one class of ship that is hardly ever even thought of anymore, and that is a battleship, the HMS Belfast. It could be refitted and sent back out surprisingly quickly. By the way, I've actually been to the HMS Belfast. It's actually quite a nice ship. It really is.
The concept of battleships, to be honest, needs to be readdressed,
Yeah.
and they need to be back out into the ocean. Okay.
Yep.
The thing people don't understand about battleships is there's ways to build battleships today. Today there are ways to build battleships that would be far more effective if you understood what you're doing with the technology that exists today.
Oh
Okay,
yes.
these big, I've got a lot of floating big guns is something that's very necessary, right, in today's world, and you can make these things a lot more powerful, all right, and a lot more predatory, right, as predators, right, than people realize. We haven't done it yet, but it's mainly because we don't have the will to do it at the moment. It's not that the United States and Britain don't have the technology to turn these things into monsters on the ocean, because we do, and you would not know they were even around until all of a sudden cities start getting blown to hell and back. And even then, they're getting blown to hell and back from 70 miles away.
Yep.
And that's with guns. Okay? That's with turreted guns. That's not with missiles or anything else. Because missiles have some disadvantages. All right? That
Mm-hmm.
that artillery doesn't. Okay? Just so you understand.
Oh yeah.
All right? One of the things is missiles, quite frankly, are wasteful for when it comes to propulsion.
Yeah.
All right? That's reality. All right? But the thing I've been thinking about this, all right, we keep having these 4 humanitarian ships, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if Italy was smart, and they're not, because they're Italians. But if anybody in the Italian government is listening somehow and comes across the broadcast, I've got a suggestion. Okay? I have a very good suggestion for you. Right? Now, I know you don't want to let these people dock. Let them dock.
Mm-hmm.
Seize the ships.
Yeah.
Seize the ships for illegal transport of personnel.
Oh,
These things are
actually, what
overloaded with people. They are they are violating all sorts of maritime laws. All right. The fact that they're trying to come into your port is already a violation. Seize the bloody ships.
you
Seize
do
them.
know, you do
Start
know that these
planting
ships,
Italian flags on them. Put a few guns on them. Say they're not part of the Italian Navy. Seize the ships from these people, and they'll stop funding this bullshit.
you do know that there's actually been multiple images of these ships literally just being left on the beach, surrounded by the life jackets that the people were wearing, and they are just left there, which
Those are the
means half
little
hour.
small ones. They're not these big ones like this, like they're showing in this.
No,
In this
no, that's true. That's
they're
true.
not like they're not like
The
these.
German NGO SOS Humanity rescued 179 people over 5
They got
days in
100.
October
They're
in the
overloaded with
Mediterranean.
179
Its
people.
vessel Humanity 1
Seize
is currently just off the
supposed
Sicilian coast.
humanitarian ship.
Italy's new far-right government says the boat can land in Sicily, but only to let children and those with medical emergencies seek help.
All right, that's the problem. Oh, we're gonna let it land. Okay, let it land. Seize the ship. Put your troops aboard it. Say it's not part of the Italian Navy. Start putting a few freaking guns on it and send it back out.
Yep.
Seize it. And if these guys are like, well, no, you can't do that, you can't do that. Why? Watch me. You're intentionally doing this to transport migrants over here. Oh, well, no, we were rescuing them. No, you weren't. You were out there to pick them up.
Yep.
Seize these ships. These big ships that are doing this shit. I guarantee you, when the owners go, hey, wait a minute, we just loaned it to them. It's our ship. Guess you shouldn't have loaned it to them.
Mm-hmm.
I
Can't take it
guarantee
back.
you, lawsuits will start flying back and forth. I just want to seize the ships.
Mm-hmm.
And if it looks like in the courts they're going to win, sink it.
Yeah.
You say, you know what? We got a reef project over here. We're going to save the reef. It's green energy.
Yep. I'm just thinking of all the fertilizer of the people on board. I'm just saying.
Whatever.
Really, TC? Really? Whatever floats your boat, go and stand in a corner. That's just terrible.
Now you know why
That was
TC hasn't
awful.
joined us.
Yep.
The media is funding this bullshit. All right.
Yep.
Oh, they're humanitarians and they just found these people floating. They were dead. Bullshit. You were sitting there going out there and they know that you're out there and they sail towards you. All right.
Oh
They
no,
know when you're in the area and that's when these waves come out. Why? Because you tell them you're near.
dude, I don't know if you know this, but no, it's actually worse than that. The French Navy actually escort them into British waters, which is 11 miles off our coast, and then turn around and bugger off, and they become our problem to deal with. They are literally escorted by the French.
You know, you could launch artillery from the shore and
I
do
have
training exercises
and
at times, can't you?
and we are going back to my suggestion about blowing up the ships.
The far right Italians are drowning the poor migrants. No, I wouldn't drown them. Like I said,
hmm
seize the ships. I haven't drowned anybody.
hmm
Seize the ships. Seize them. How tough? This is not rocket science. If they're doing this kind of bullshit, seize the ships. End it.
Yeah.
But the media, you know the media, what the media is going to do. The media's a bunch of freaking leftist, freaking crying wannabes.
Yep.
I love this one. You've seen this one? NBC, right, from Mediaite, right, reports of NBC deletes report on Pelosi attack from website over reporting standard. You know what the reporting standard is? They told the truth.
Yep.
All right. When officers arrived here at Pelosi's home was exactly 1 week ago, they initially didn't have any idea what was going on.
hmm
Really? They knew that they had a high priority call in their hand, but it was unclear what was happening inside. The 82-year-old did not immediately declare emergency or tried to leave his home, but instead began walking several feet back into the foyer, all right, toward the assailant away from police. It's unclear if the 82-year-old was already injured or what his mental state was. Yeah, because there are the narrative of the story that this guy was a right-wing nut job that broke into the house to try and go after Nancy Pelosi. Something else is going on here.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't a right-wing nut job. We know this because he's an illegal alien from Canada. All right? Who lived in a freaking nudist commune for a good portion of his time that has all sorts of rainbow and BLM flags.
Yep.
Oh, but he was converted. He was converted to a right wing from QAnon. QAnon, yeah, QAnon made him right wing. All right. So what do they do? They put out this story, which causes more people to go, "What the hell is going on?" Because all right, if somebody breaks into your home, you call the police arrive, you open the door for the police, and there's a nut job in your house. Do you go back in the house until the
No.
nut job has been neutralized?
Let's be honest. Said nut job had a hammer in his hand. You open the door, police are there, you duck to the ground, you listen to them shoot the guy, and when he hits the floor, then you stand up and go, "Thank you, officers, for your help." Because this whole here I don't know if you know about this, but apparently, and this one will tickle you. Apparently, the police didn't even know that was Nancy Pelosi's home. You know, it's not like she's anything important. And let's ignore the fact that there was no security guards or any sort of security system in the Speaker of the House's house.
Why Pelosi didn't try to flee or tell responding officers that he was in distress is unclear. We still don't know what unfolded. Exactly. So when people are questioning, okay, what's going on with this? This is obviously something else. It has to be. This is not a break-in where a guy was fearing for his life because the guy broke into his house.
Yeah. And I also assume you know about. Apparently, the door was actually opened to police by a third individual who was suddenly not mentioned at all and didn't actually exist. Honestly, listen to us.
Well,
Have you heard about that?
According to this report, I heard about that, but according to this
Mm-hmm.
report, it was actually this guy. It was actually Paul Pelosi that opened the door for the police and walked back in.
Yeah.
So okay, so if Pelosi himself, there's a lot of things that happen early on, right? In a situation because people are trying to find out things, right?
Yeah.
And they read into things sometimes, right? So I always want to wait and see what this was about. But see, the problem is the problem with this specific story was, what did the media do? As soon as they heard about the attack, they immediately went into it was a right-wing guy trying to sit up there and kill Nancy Pelosi. And that was their narrative. And now, in order to continue that narrative, they got to keep coming up with excuse after excuse after excuse to still try to claim that this was a right-wing man trying to, with right-wing violence. Meanwhile, in North Carolina, a house of a Republican candidate gets shot up, and there's nothing. After his opponent showed his house in a campaign commercial, this guy's house gets shot, right, with heavy weapons. Well, not heavy weapons, but with rifle fire, multiple rifle rounds. Let's leave it at that. With his wife and kids inside. Nothing is said.
Yeah.
And B says, is this right-wing violence? Well, obviously not. So we don't need to know about that. The left isn't violent. The left isn't BLM. No, that's not the left. The left isn't violent.
Yeah.
Did you see January 6th? Did you see what was going on in October?
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to point this out. I'm not saying January 6th was a good thing. In fact, I warned people what was going to happen. But nobody listens.
Fair. Unfortunately.
All right, we ready for another story?
When you are ready, sir.
Are you sure? TZ, you sure you don't want to come in on this story?
You go for it, and if I feel I've got something to say, I'll let you know. Trust me.
Woman busted in domestic fight over sex toy.
So far, so good.
A dispute over possession of a sex toy turned violent early Saturday and resulted in the arrest of a Florida woman for battering her boyfriend. According to a domestic violence situation at a home in Fort Pierce, cops interviewed a male victim who said that he and Chelsea White, 34, were having a verbal argument over a handbag and a sex toy he owned. The argument progressed. The victim asked White to return the sex toy to him because he owned it.
Wow.
So, it would have been better if she beat him with it.
I really was hoping that they would get to that point. Okay.
All right, police, however, police reported. However, White refused to give the sex toy back to the victim. The adult item is not described in the arrest affidavit. Unable to secure the return of his sex toy, the 34-year-old victim picked up her handbag and declared, "I have your bag. Give me back my property." A struggle for control of the handbag followed, with White allegedly kicking and biting the man. The victim, cops said, punched White to make her stop biting him. After investigators concluded that White was the primary aggressor during the 8:30 a.m. battle in the couple's residence, she was arrested for domestic battery and booked in the St. Lucie jail on a misdemeanor count. She is locked up in lieu of $500 bond and is scheduled for arraignment on November 16th.
I don't even know what to say. So let's be honest, okay? The fact that they didn't detail what the adult toy was, imagination does get to really go mad. And all I'm going to say, for anyone who understands what this is, being whipped to death by anal beads. And I'm going to leave that statement there.
See, you went there.
I went there.
I'm thinking blow-up doll.
Yeah, no, I know. You were going for the nice one. I was going for the other one.
Well, the reason I don't think it's the reason is because it wasn't used in the attack.
True.
Okay, so Because I can see her swinging anal beads at him. Right?
Let's be honest, okay? Based on the fact that this guy had a sex toy in that manner, let's be honest, if she whipped him with it, he's probably going to say, "Yes, mummy, hit me harder," and you know it.
All right, I'm just look. I don't know the story here. I don't care. But you got to admit, there are some crazy.
Oh boy, would it be interesting if we knew more.
You ready for another story?
Oh, please do, sir.
You sure?
Let's see if we can get dildo to the face out of our mind.
Cops accused Waffle House wallet theft explained that the money was calling to me.
Wow.
After being arrested for stealing a wallet that a patron mistakenly left on a Waffle House counter, Quante Morton reportedly confessed to the theft and gave cops an explanation for her actions. The money was calling to me. According to the Florida police,
Hold out too late. You said I was going to say stop. Let's all guess where this is, but he already said Florida. Says it all, really.
The Florida police. The victim paid their Waffle House tab early Monday morning, but forgot their wallet on the counter. The wallet contained $2,286 in cash.
Mm-hmm.
Now, nothing against anybody, but you're walking around with that much cash?
Makes you wonder, doesn't it?
I mean, she's not smart enough to go, instead of saying the money was going out to her, I thought he left it as a tip. What should have been her comment?
Yep.
As recorded by the security camera, the 47-year-old Morton was seen on video looking around, putting her hat on top of the victim's wallet on the counter. She then slid the hat and the wallet onto her hands with discretion. Morton then quickly leaves the establishment while her husband and child are left inside the restaurant to pay. In other words, she's not even a worker there. So
No.
that tells me why she wasn't a tip. Okay.
Fair. Ridiculous. It's not like it's not, as I say, it's not like in most fast food restaurants. I don't know how it is in America, but over here there is an absolute ton of security devices, cameras and stuff, all targeting the register area. I'm assuming it's the same for your country.
It's off and on. In most nowadays, when it comes to cameras and stuff, most of the fast food joints. You got to remember, fast food in America, there's two places. Right?
Mm-hmm.
There's the counter, right, and then
Yep.
there's the drive-through. And yes,
True.
there are cameras. There are cameras all through that. Now, unfortunately, for most people that don't understand this, those cameras are not there to catch thieves.
No, they're there because they don't trust the people working there.
Yes. Exactly. All right.
Oh yeah.
They're there because they want to make sure that their people are kept in line. That their employees are not the ones who cause these incidents. Okay? That's what they're there for. Because a camera isn't going to protect you. Okay? Understand this.
Yep.
Right? Just because your house has got cameras all around it, it does not mean that you are protected by the cameras. Paul Pelosi found that out. Okay? The cameras didn't protect him. So I want people to understand these things don't do this. All right? What the cameras are there for. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's you got to understand the situation. Now, why are they doing this? Because a lot of bad things happen, right? In the drive-throughs. And okay, there was a person who made a claim or made a statement one time that I totally agree with. Nothing good happens after midnight. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nothing good comes after midnight. If you're out after midnight, the best you can hope for is I got home safely and I didn't get any incidents and nothing happened. That's the best you can hope for.
In other words, survival. Yeah.
All right. Because after midnight, people wandering around are generally not in their right mind, or they're criminals. Okay. When I say
Mm-hmm.
generally not in their right mind, I mean they're drunk, or they're
Yeah.
high, or they're lit and they were partying too long. Nothing good happens after midnight,
Yeah.
folks. Are we talking about gremlins?
Someone had to do it, but luckily he got there.
Okay. Now, what happens? Why are these fast food restaurants in America open then after midnight?
Pretty much for the same reason that you said that it's not safe. People that are drunk, people that are stoned, and people that are lit, and they are the people that are actually going to buy the munchies because they have the munchies.
Exactly. Drunk college kids
Mm-hmm.
looking for food.
Yeah.
Because most of the
And
grocery stores are closed, rightly so, at around 9 p.m.
yeah. Now, I don't know if this is true. This is just something I've heard. Apparently, shops that open basically from 10 o'clock at night onwards will actually make more money than shops that are open in the morning hours, as in
Well,
normal daylight hours.
probably. It's probably true. Mainly because
Horrifying, I know.
in the morning daylight hour, well, where is everybody in morning daylight hours? Either they're at home or they're at work.
True. And let's be honest, most of the weirdos aren't even awake at that time.
Right.
I mean, the fact that you sit there and explain to them, did you know that there are more than 2 9 o'clocks in the same day? What? Oh, God. And that's a problem. They do believe it. And yes, I actually do know someone who tried to argue that there was no such thing as 9 a.m. in the morning.
You ready for the next story?
Go for
You sure?
it.
Suspect claimed he was claimed a free pass on meth after a sheriff's deputy found an uncapped syringe and crystal substance among his belongings. A Florida man, surprise,
Of
surprise,
course.
demanded that the cop call the FBI and local police since he was purportedly allowed to carry methamphetamine. Robert Lawson, 50, was questioned yesterday after he was spotted loitering near a wooded area in Clearwater, cops said. During a consensual encounter, Larson reportedly gave police permission to search him and his bags. According to the arrest report, the search yielded a small baggie containing crystal substance which tested positive for meth, as well as a used and uncapped syringe with a brown liquid residue. After being read his
Wow.
rights, Lawson, seen above, demanded that the Deputy Daniel Maddox call the FBI and St. Petersburg Police Department because he had been allowed to carry methamphetamine.
I don't even know what to say. Hey, TC.
Hey. Okay, leave the meth alone.
No.
TC comes in. TC
Oh.
comes in to support the squirrels.
Yes, exactly. Of all the stories that you do, this one brings me in. Okay.
Your timing is perfect, mate. It really is.
Here's TC. He's just our supplier. He's just a squirrel supplier. What do you want?
Exactly. I mean, come on. I'm just trying to squirrel all this meth away. And look, this Florida
Really?
guy comes along and takes it all. What
Really?
the hell?
No, so you actually went for the joke. You're trying to squirrel it away. Really,
Yes,
dude?
yes,
Oh,
yes,
oh.
yes. Why not? You have a problem with this, Jensen. Come on, man.
Oh, God, that's awful. Oh, dear.
He was released on $2,150 bond.
You know, I can actually tell you why he thought he could get away with it. He probably thought his name was Hunter Biden, and we know that nothing will happen to people. Oh, did I say that out
Exactly.
loud? Oh,
Yes,
I'm
you
sorry.
did. Yes, you
Oops.
did. And thanks, Matt. Yeah, just a squirrel trying to get a nut.
Yep.
Yep.
Just a squirrel looking for a nut.
Exactly. Exactly. This is squirrel oppression. Come on, man.
We have to get away from just the Florida man. California man dressed as Fireball whiskey bottle collared for drunken conduct. He's dressed up as a whiskey bottle. And he's surprised. You're surprised he was drunk. A Halloween hoodlum
Wow.
dressed as a bottle of Fireball cinnamon whiskey was arrested early today for drunken and disorderly conduct, domestic battery, and several other charges, according to the California jail records.
Pause a
Dominique
moment. Pause. Sorry, no,
Salazar.
pause. Dude, check that face. How wrecked is that man? Just look at that picture. Wow.
He's a white corker.
Oh.
He looks seriously blasted. Wow.
Yeah, he's 3 sheets to the wind. He was booked into county lockup at 3:20 a.m. What did I say? On assorted felony, misdemeanor, and vehicular counts. Salazar, who lives in Madera, a city in Central California, is being held on $55,000 bond.
It's California. What do you expect?
That is true.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you, are Florida and California like in some sort of competition as that they can do each other?
They literally look at each other and say, "Hold my beer," and obviously, not only did he hold beer, he drank the beer.
Question this because
hold my whiskey.
Drunk.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to know what else he got involved with that the bond is $55,000. It wasn't just drinking and driving.
No, he did say about like domestic battery, so he probably beat the cack out of someone. That's why he's being charged so much.
As seen above, the 6-foot, 293-pound Salazar was wearing his Halloween costume when photographed by jail personnel. The whiskey outfit retails for $45 and is 100% polyester and intended for adults of legal drinking age. Okay, what does that have to do with the story?
Nothing.
Halloween is about letting your wildest dreams come true this year. Become a human-sized bottle of Fireball. You're welcome. Oh my
I
God!
don't even know what to say.
Okay. The domestic battery. Triple A, double A, CD, car battery.
It's America.
Yeah.
Probably use Let's be honest, mate. Based on the expression, it's triple A. You know, and I mean that literally is triple A.
Okay. You ready for another story?
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Blackface act planned as police pop painted perp on possession and parole wraps. Let's guess where this guy's from. For some unexplained reason, a wanted man was covered head to toe in black paint when California cops apprehended him last week. Investigators had been looking for Rufus Barron, 35, on an outstanding warrant when his mother called police to report that her son was asleep in her home in Madera, a city in Central California. Madera is a hot spot, folks. When officers arrived at the residence at 1:30 a.m. on Tuesday, they discovered Barron, seen above, coated in black paint. Barron would not say how he came to be so covered. A search of Barron turned up a glass smoking pipe containing methamphetamine.
No, really? I'm shocked.
But I
Cops
wouldn't mind, but
suspected that Barron had been on a meth bender. Several squirrels were laying around the room.
I wouldn't mind, but not all his face is covered.
Yeah.
That's
No, I
the
would-
worst blackface I've ever seen.
No,
That's
mate. I would
probably
point
after the
out
cops got done.
That is
Get in the
true.
car.
tarring and feathering him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the old way of dealing with things. That'll get rid of a lot of
All right,
criminals
search.
suddenly.
Barron is being held in county jail on multiple charges, including possession of a controlled substance, violating parole, and possession of drug paraphernalia.
He looks as though he's been up and down a few chimneys. That's the thing. He looks like a freaking chimney sweep.
TC,
Really, officer, I was just a chimney sweep.
TC.
Yes.
Call blimey, governor. Strike a
Dick
light.
Van Dyke was calling
I
to me.
know. I've Dick Van Dyke. Yes.
I had to. That's what. When you actually first put that picture up, all that was going through my head was, "Oh my God, Mary Poppins. She's
I
back."
know, right? Exactly. Yes. You and me both.
Did you see? Can you sing? Did you ask him to do a dance?
Don't do that. He'll start doing the old chimney dance, and we just do not need to deal with that image anymore.
Good luck with my both when I shake hands with you.
Neil has decided to join us. Hey, dude.
Welcome.
Hey, Neil.
We only have a few stories left. Actually, 2 stories.
Yep.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Women made 11,000 police calls to the police line.
Wow.
A Florida woman this year has made more than 11,000 harassing phone calls to the police emergency communication center, according to the cops who say the defendant admitted she loves playing this game. She's a lunatic. Do you realize how many times a day you have to be calling the police?
In what space of time did she make the 11,000 calls? I mean,
a week, apparently.
Oh God!
Right.
How? I
Don't
didn't know it was possible to actually make that many calls to
Carla
anybody.
Jefferson, 50, was busted Monday evening on a misdemeanor charge of placing a torrent of phone calls, all right, to the St. Petersburg Police Department and the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office. The criminal complaint alleges that Jefferson, during a single 24-hour period last month, called the police emergency communication center 512 times.
Jesus Christ.
24-hour period. Wow.
I agree, Matt. That has to be some kind of record.
Yeah. Now, at a 24-hour period, first of all, you're trying to stay awake during these 24 hours, right?
Yes.
And this means every 6 minutes this woman was making a phone call.
I can actually give you a good excuse. I can give you an excuse as to why this is the case. Florida woman, meth, end statement.
Yep.
Jefferson investigators say harasses and belittles and swears at and argues with the police employees who answers the call. All right, there are vulgar, threatening, or obscene and contain extreme expletives, sexual innuendo, and belittling remarks made to the communication staff. On some occasions, she demanded that officers come to her St. Petersburg residence and arrest her. Upon arrival of the cops, Jefferson retreats inside and refuses to answer the door. All right, and has in the past given officers the middle finger and screams at them through the windows. Now,
okay,
have these officers
guys
not
not
heard
have
of breaking the door down? Have these officers not heard of breaking down the door, for heaven's sakes? God,
only they plan to actually shoot a victim, I guess.
I want to ask you a question here, Nomad, because different country, different rules. Do you guys not actually have the law about wasting police time? Because we've got that over here.
She's breaking the law big time.
Right. Okay,
in a
cool.
bid to get Jefferson to cease calling, police officials earlier this year sent a certified letter informing her that further abuse of the non-emergency line would result in criminal charges. Jefferson, who dialed the police from 2 separate numbers, allegedly ignored the warning, prompting the cops to arrest her. Look, you guys should have arrested her a long time ago. On a pair of misdemeanor counts, she was released in custody, posting $400 bond. Jefferson was arrested Monday for allegedly continuing her phone assaults. All right, after her June 30th caller. Seen above, Jefferson was freed yesterday afternoon from the county jail on her own recognizance.
Wow.
Why?
Only to make more phone calls.
Yeah.
Jefferson's criminal history includes multiple
11,000.
felony and misdemeanor battery convictions, a total of 6 years in state prison. This woman doesn't care. This
No.
woman wants to go back to prison. I'm serious. That's what this woman wants. She wants to go back to prison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
And yes, Matt, you're not wrong, mate.
This is what happens when technology gets too far out there. I guarantee, right? If you didn't have speed dial, she wouldn't be doing this.
No.
All right, I guarantee if she had to do the old rotary phones,
Oh yeah, I remember
right,
that.
she wouldn't be
God.
calling the cops every time.
Nope. No.
Right? I guarantee that wouldn't happen. Okay. Final story of the day. Okay. And
Okay.
this is TC's true competitor.
Oh, here we go.
All right. The true competitor for TC and his brethren. Bear wanders into California cafe and steals cookies.
Nice.
A bear paid a visit to a cafe in California, and the brood was caught on camera stealing cookies before being ejected by the police.
No.
An employee at the Nestle Toll House Cafe by Chip and Heavenly Village in the South Lake Tahoe area captured photos and video when the bear barged into the residence around 7 p.m. on Wednesday. The bear climbed onto the counter, ate some cookies while the employees waited for the police to arrive. After the officers arrived, they were able to chase the bear out of the business. The bear was not the first to get into trouble with its sweet tooth, as the bear was caught on camera in September stealing cupcakes.
Cupcakes.
Made a stop for cookies. This black bear
bear.
working for free, ready to serve you at the Nestle
Cookie
Toll House store at
Monster.
Heavenly Village State Line in the South Lake Tahoe area. This was
This
about
is a
7
hell of a
o'clock
freaking
last
Halloween
night.
costume.
Employees tell us that
You
there
gotta
were
admit,
people
you
inside
know
when the bear came in. It climbed onto the
Exactly.
counter and did eat some
I
cookies.
barely know him.
An employee
admit
shared
it.
a video
Thank you
with
for
us,
that.
and there you can see
Yep.
police did
Yeah.
respond. They eventually guided the
But
bear out
let's
of the
be
store
honest here, okay?
and down the sidewalk.
Who is actually going to say, no, I'm not going to give it a cookie if the bear turns up and looks at you? You're just going to give it a goddamn cookie just because, I don't know,
It's a bear.
400
If the
pound
bear
bear
starts coming
is
on
looking at you.
into the
Yes.
store, the first thing I'm doing is I'm taking the tray of these things and I'm throwing them in front of it, so it's while
Yep.
it's busy munching, I can get out the freaking door.
From
Okay.
Sixer, my name is Bear. Can I take your order? Oh, I really like that
Yes.
concept.
Yes. Hey, Sixer.
Oh my god,
yeah.
I feel sorry. Look, if a bear came in and said it wanted a munchie, it's getting the munchie. It's only
Oh,
the
yeah.
squirrels that think that they gotta fight the bear for the mess.
Exactly. And we will win in numbers.
He sits in the
Yeah.
background. We shall overcome.
Oh, God. Not wrong, though.
Oh, God.
Well, I'll do one more story just for the hell of it.
Mm.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Woman finds 2 pythons mating behind her microwave.
What? Okay. That's the thing, I guess.
That doesn't add her up.
A
Oh,
reptile wrangler was summoned to an Australian's home, where the resident discovered the cause of the moving microwave was a pair of mating pythons. A video
reach
posted
in and
on
grab
Facebook
'em.
shows Stuart McKenzie of the Sunshine Coast Snake Catchers responding to a home in Brunerim, where the woman discovered 2 carpet pythons. What the hell's a carpet python? Do we have pythons that go across carpets? All right, in
I-
the throes of passion in her kitchen, the snake catching
Bound,
business
chicka,
said the
wow,
woman
wow.
noticed her microwave had moved, looked behind to find the pair of mating snakes. We were able to get there very quickly and relocate the two lovebirds back into the bush where they belong.
Australia, end statement.
Now, nothing against anybody here, all right, and I don't want to judge people, all right, but okay, maybe I'm mistaken something here. This must be a stove, right? Please tell me this is a stove, and she doesn't have a microwave where she does her laundry. Because I see these dials, the first thing that came to mind was, is that a washing machine?
I'm just going to remind you, Australia. Okay, that literally that is
yeah.
my answer. Okay.
The country where everything wants to kill you.
That's what this is.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, if you take a look at this. You look at this. Doesn't this picture here just scream laundry?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree.
Yep.
Just curious. Just curious. Put it out there, folks. All right, folks. That's all I've got for the day. I appreciate everybody coming out. Hope that you all have a good day. Do you have any last words, TC?
No, just waiting for that asteroid to crash into planet Earth.
Anything, Jensen?
No, but I'm selling tickets for the asteroid so we can all watch.
Yeah, so we can all
All
work
right,
out.
folks.
Yay.
Yeah.
Hope you all have a good day, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.